New Zealand admits it can no longer get rid of coronavirus, will adapt to live with it, ABC News.
Here's a summary of the article.
Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced a cautious plan to ease lockdown restrictions in Auckland, despite an outbreak there that continues to simmer. Since early in the pandemic, New Zealand had pursued an unusual zero-tolerance approach to the virus through strict lockdowns and aggressive contact tracing. Despite New Zealand going into the strictest form of lockdown after just a single local case was detected, it ultimately wasn't enough to crush the outbreak entirely. The outbreak has grown to more than 1,300 cases, with 29 more detected on Monday. Rates rocketed in August after the outbreak began but have dropped off significantly again since then. Ardern said the elimination strategy had served the country incredibly well, but the government always intended to eventually transition to the protection of vaccines, a change hastened by the Delta variant, game changer. Opposition lawmaker Chris Bishop said the government had no clear strategy to deal with the outbreak other than total surrender.
This post received a score of 6,800, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
They lasted until vaccines rolled out. An absolute win. Let's hope that we can begin returning to normalcy in highly vaccinated areas. Although I do feel that the economics of immigration and trade have likely shifted rightward as a result of the wage and supply chain situations in many countries.
If the rest of the world had taken the NZ approach, then COVID would have disappeared. As it stands, NZ managed to get through this with hardly any deaths. Either way, it's a win for them. While they were hit economically, everyone was anyway, and in general NZ had little in the way of lockdowns domestically.
We were hit significantly less economically than the rest of the world was because we could operate basically normally in between lockdowns. Our GDP dropped significantly in the quarter of our first lockdown, then surged to highs following opening up. Unfortunately, that sent our housing market up by 30% in less than a year.
Geez, housing markets everywhere seem to have shot up because of the pandemic. Here in Las Vegas, I would say 30% seems accurate for the rent increase. Even houses shot up in value. An extremely outdated house in a bad part of town can easily go for $300K plus. That used to be the price of a brand new 3-story a few years ago.
Governments printing shitloads of money tends to drive up asset prices. The median house in Auckland is worth close to $1.3 million. Our unlivably shit houses are going for about $1 million there.
Homes are being purchased for upwards of 33% above asking prices. No visitors from realtors or potential homeowners, just contracts with a bank. He listed it with a realtor, but that was the only communication with a realtor. He believes the realtor was paid off for the listing and probably others.
Yup, hedge funds are really driving this. When many medium-sized property companies couldn't evict tenants during the pandemic, they were losing a lot of money. Hedge funds approached a lot of these companies and bought them and their properties out. Largest uptick in the real estate market since the 80s, I believe.
In the last 24 hours there have been 31 new cases in the community for the entire country. For the past few months the narrative has been, get vaccinated ASAP and lock down for a short period of time so we can get things under control and figure out where we go from here. 2 jabs and over a month of lockdown later we are essentially being told that before too long we are going to be going back to normal. There was no mention of, you can't unless you are vaccinated, etc., which is quite concerning as for months the vaccination has rightfully been the #1 topic and numbers started to pick up. However, now it seems, well, we tried, let's open this country back up.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.